update on your roster to begin, Coach?
Well, I do have to go back down there to see what's going on. So I don't know about Stahlberg. All I know is he looked. I know he was doing fine. So he was doing fine yesterday, the day before, and he practiced today, but it was no hitting today. And so I'll have to see what's going on tomorrow. And I think right now it's going in the right direction. So hopefully he can play in the next little while.
No, your trip.
Sorry. Oh, he's making a trip here.
Starting goaltender for tomorrow against Philly, Coach?
Andy.
Sorry, anything on the thought?
We said weeks. That hasn't changed. I think in the next 3-4 days we're going to have a better idea of what specifically, what it is and what's the extent and how long. But now I think for me, they haven't told me that they can tell me more specifics right now. So it hasn't changed. It won't be day to day for sure. It'll be weeks. How many weeks, I don't know.
With that in mind, do you see Clayson as being your regular guy in there, or would you?
Well, of course, Clay has been helping us, and he's done a good job. But at the same time, I think you want to be fair to the players, to put them in the right chair and have them handle what they can handle. I thought that's his big value. He's a guy that logged a lot of minutes against the top players because of his speed and experience and size. And I don't think you can ask any 6-7 Ds to come up and play top two regularly and do you got to be fair. So we got to give Clay the ice time and that he can handle, and when he gets that, he looks great, and that's what we're going to do. So we'll see how we manage it.
Coach, have you noticed any consistencies with what your team is missing when it loses a game?
No. Every game's a different story because you play against a different team, and sometimes you come back, sometimes you don't come back. If that was the thing, I think we'd all have that magic wand and we know exactly what to do every day. And every game's a different story. Every opponent's a different story. So tomorrow's going to be a new day, and there'll be a few reasons why we win, and when you lose, there's a few reasons why you lose, and it's rarely the same. The only thing I would say is we knew that the Canadiens' offense relied a lot on their defensemen, and that's how they've won against us. And we didn't do a good job of fronting the D shot, and that was a huge part of our game plan. And I would say that's probably what we've seen the games against the Canadiens, and that's where their offense came from. So we didn't do a good job at that, and it was a game plan, so we were weak there. That's probably the biggest thing. Last game, I think both the power play and the PK did not do the job. Power play has done the job for the last month and something. So I can't say, I don't like the power play lately. That's not true at all. We put Stone back there and trying to figure out, a new chemistry, and we have to do that. That's what we practiced it today. But, clearly they won that battle last game. They won the power play and penalty kill, and that's where they won, because I thought we were really good 5-on-5. And I looked at the clips after. We were really good 5-on-5. So I don't think there's anything to change there, except for the fact that we didn't front enough defenseman shots from the opponent. So, and I know that Philly has a lot of their offense coming from their defenseman shooting, so we're going to have to be much better tomorrow, pay the price and block shots and be in the lanes and front those defensemen. So that, I would say right there, those three things is probably the main focus for tomorrow.
Clark MacArthur talked to me that he'd like to pass his baseline test and make himself available. Do you see a scenario where he plays this year?
Right now, until the doctors tell me that there's a possibility because it's 100% clearance, and then we can move on to the next step, then I'll think about it. But right now, for me, it's we're happy he's there. We're happy he's feeling great. He's part of the team. He's with us. But as long as he's not part of my decisions, I'm not putting any focus on that right now. I think tomorrow it's about the guys who are going to play. We have enough to take care of right now. I think it's too much of a big picture thing, and there's too many steps before it gets to me making decisions. That I'll let the other people make the decisions first, and then after that we'll see where we're at.
Craig Anderson was named the Masterton nominee for Ottawa. How impressed have you been with how he's been able to perform, but as well just keep the focus through everything?
Well, first of all, it's a no-brainer. I think just being nominated is a great achievement, and he certainly deserves it with what he's been able to do this year. You know, he's had some tremendous games and times where you'd think, I mean, we're not even, should we put him in nets or not? Because, I mean, his mind is on many different things at the same time. And any human being would be definitely having problems and struggling with the things that he had to deal with. And he's performed in tremendously in some moments where, wow, you just, so for me, I think the fact he's been able to juggle all that together and keep his cool and keep his performances up to the level, I mean, it's absolutely outstanding, and I think you got to be inspired by that. So I think our team has been inspired by it. I think our fans have been too. So like I said, I think it's a no-brainer that he's looked at for that award for sure.
To get back on injured guys coming out. Stone's game the other night, were you?
Well, one step at a time. I mean, every game you're going to see he's going to pick it up, and I thought he did fine. But obviously now I think we'll look at maybe getting his line back together with Smith and Boucher and just trying to get some chemistry there. I think Pajot's line, they've been our best line for a while here, offensively and defensively. So I don't think we're going to touch that. So and then we got to figure out the rest. Trying to surround Turi there with the guys that are the hottest amongst the other guys, and see what we. One thing is for sure, with or without Stallberg, we got different options. For those two lines, and my job is to find out on whatever particular night which guys are going to give us the most.
Carlson just,
Yeah. Oh yeah, day off. I told him after the last game. I mean, I was looking at the schedule, and I already knew a week ago that day he would get a rest. I mean, he got a lot of minutes, he got a lot of pressure, and I think you got to be inside to know how much he's done and how much pressure it is that he has on his shoulder and how well he's dealt with it. But we want him to keep dealing with it well, and that's rest. I mean, it's work ethic is great, but without enthusiasm, you don't get anything, and I don't want him to lose enthusiasm because he's missing energy. So I think it's important to manage him, and that's what we're doing today. So it's an easy one, because after that, the rest of the schedule, we don't have any breaks. Like this was the 2-day break where, all right, we can do it. After that, I mean, it's nonstop, and yeah.
With the playoff spot's not clinched, but with so few games left before heading into the postseason, is it important to see your team get to playing a certain style that is likely to be expected in that postseason?
No, it's important to stay consistent to what made us successful. If you make it something different, then you're sending everybody in the wrong direction. I think it's what I liked the last game against Montreal. So we played a great first period, and it's too bad it ended up them being on top. And we didn't start well the second, and it was 3-0, and it was easy to quit and start running around, do whatever. And the guys held it and scored a goal, and Cesar doesn't hit the post, puts it in. It's 3-2. Burrows, gets that goal. It's 3-3, and I think our players have recognized that okay, it didn't go our way at the beginning of the second, but we're still going to stick to it, and we still look good after that. We had a very good third period. So that's more important than anything for me, is stick to what made us successful, because our consistency this year comes from the fact that we're not sending ourselves in different directions and letting everybody stray in the wrong on a different path than the rest of the group. And whenever things don't go well, you have to rely on the collective, and the collective is when everybody's on the same page, and that's been a gigantic strength of ours. So the remainder of the season is the same. Tomorrow, one game. We want that game. We want that game our way, and we want to be consistent at it. And if we don't win, it can't be because we weren't ourselves. We got to be ourselves. And if we lose 3-2 because the opponent scored more than us, but we had a good 60 minutes of solid Senators hockey, the way our identity's been, hey, it's the NHL. All the teams are good, and all the teams can win, but it can't be because we're inconsistent at being ourselves.